I've been gone for a minute now, back with the jump off. This is your boy Dax, coming to you guys live, politics and tricks. Now, first off, I want to say, y'all know damn well Trump is not about to be impeached. So let's start from the gate, let's start from the beginning. And then we're going to move into the impeachment inquiry and why this is starting and what all it entails. But first, let's start from the beginning. So, if everyone is familiar with Joe Biden was Obama's vice president from 2008 to 2016. 2 terms, 4 years apart. Now, Joe Biden has 2 sons, but one particular son, Robert Hunter Biden, he's an American lawyer and lobbyist who is the second son, again, of former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden. Now, his son, Hunter Biden, is the partner at Rosemont Seneca Partners, an international consulting firm. Anytime you see international consulting firm, it's just a way to hide cash, hide money from foreign entities, foreign companies, foreign businesses in America. Anytime you see the international consulting businesses. Moving on, Joe Biden's son served on the board of Burisma Holdings in Ukraine, the country Ukraine, which is right below Russia. Now, Burisma Holdings is basically the big natural gas company in Ukraine. Now, typically, if there's a big overseas company that wants to get in good with the U.S. government, they have to go through the proper channels, and it's usually through someone that works with the federal government, or maybe a relative. In this case, it's Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. So in May, we're going to back it up a little bit more, just to let you know how corrupt the government is. In May of 2013, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was assigned as a public affairs officer, which Joe Biden, the vice president at the time, got him the job, got him in there. He was a public affairs officer in Norfolk, Virginia, a reserve unit. A month later, he tested positive for cocaine and was discharged in February of 2014. So rumor is they found the crack pipe on him as well, but we're gonna leave that alone. Nonetheless, he failed a drug test and tested positive. So I guess he had to figure out how he gonna make a living since he couldn't keep a job in the U.S. government as a public affairs officer. So then, in 2013, he took a trip with his father to Beijing, China. It was a mini family vacation trip, business trip, and he accompanied, this is Hunter Biden, he accompanied his father, Joe Biden, basically to a meeting with a Chinese private equity fund. Now, that's another term you need to be aware of. Anytime you hear equity fund, these are when, like you heard before, with international consulting firms, also with equity funds, outside business, outside money, meaning outside of the U.S., if they want money or want some type of influence in the U.S. markets, they have to build a fund. So in order to build a fund, you got to get approval through all type of federal government, banks and all this good old stuff. But the way to fast forward that or get it pushed through a lot faster is if you got connects inside the federal government. Hence, Joe Biden. So Hunter Biden, his son, was kind of the liaison working in between the two, two structures. You got the Chinese trying to get into the U.S. market, or this particular Chinese business trying to get into U.S. markets, and you got Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States. Bring them together, what you get what you want, but at the same time, Joe Biden and his son can benefit through money. So check this out. Hunter Biden was forming a Chinese private equity fund that associates said at the time was planning to raise big money, including from China. So not only they were building a fund, but they were planning on getting money from everywhere in the world, in the global world, to put into the fund. So to raise big money, including from China, Hunter Biden had acknowledged meeting with Jonathan Lee, a Chinese banker, and his partner in the fund during the trip. Although the spokesman Although his spokesman for Hunter Biden said it was a social visit. Social, come on, man. You're not going all the way across to China just to say hello. Stop it. The Chinese business fund during the trip, the Chinese business license that brought the new $1.5 billion fund into existence was issued by Shanghai authorities 10 days after the trip. So when you're trying to build a fund, it has to go through the Chinese government, it has to go through the federal government. The federal government, based on the fact because it was $1.5 billion and Joe Biden's son took a little cut off the top, it was already approved on our side. The U.S. side has had to get through the Shanghai, which is the Chinese authorities, and it was approved on that side too. Because when you got somebody inside Washington, D.C., you can arrange things to be done a lot quicker, like I said before. So 10 days after the trip, the fund was established with $1.5 billion sitting in there, not credit, cash. So then after that, so Joe Biden's son, Hunter, is on a roll. 1 year later, 2014, this is all during the time when he got found out for possession of cocaine, well, drug test, and found he had cocaine in his drug test. 1 year later, 2014, Hunter Biden joined, a whole nother country, guys, joined the board of a Ukrainian gas company, which I talked to you guys about before, the Burisma Holdings. The job, because he joined this company, which he had no experience, he don't know anything about it. Think about it. His father got him a job as a public affairs. It's not like an administrative job, like you toting files from one office to another, or you moving a stapler from this side of the desk over to this side of the desk. Nonetheless, his son also later, 2014, joined the board of the Ukrainian gas company, Burisma Holdings, and the job that was given to him with the gas company came with risk, meaning throes of political upheaval, and there was building scrutiny from former government officials profiting in the lucrative gas industry. So basically there were people in Ukraine watching this, and one particular person, was a prosecutor in Ukraine, noticed that Hunter's Biden relationship with the gas company was a little bit too close. So he decided to launch an investigation, right? This is the prosecutor in Ukraine. He started to launch an investigation against Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, because he found their relationship to be a little too finicky. Now, Hunter Biden, father, Joe Biden, the face of the Obama administration effort to get Ukraine to crack down on corruption. Now, picture that. Obama administration was trying to get Ukraine to crack down on corruption, but at the same time, his vice president's son was involved with corruption with the gas company in Ukraine, trying to make money off the top by landing some type of deals and getting improvement. You know how it goes, y'all. I need a license, I need property, I need this, I need that, and the only way it can get done is if it's pushed through the system a lot faster. And the only way you're gonna get through the system a lot faster if you know somebody in the system. So because of that, the region was so unsettled that one of Hunter Biden's investment firms, so the firm that Hunter Biden was working with, stated, well, the secretary of the firm that Hunter Biden's son was working with stated he believed that joining the board of Burisma Holdings was a bad idea and ended his business relationship with Biden and another partner, his spokesman told the Washington Post. So this story's been out for the longest, but nobody's never touched it, right? Because it's Democrats. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it's Democrats. All this time, you know, you were hearing the word like the establishment, the corrupt people in Washington, D.C. In my mind, I've always thought it was Republicans. I really, really always thought it was Republicans. And I'm sure there are a few Republicans out there that are corrupt. But in this case, and it seems like there's a growing abundance of it, it seems to be Democrats. So let me quote this other thing here from me. So from the secretary of the firm that, which I believe is the Rosemont Seneca Partners, right, what we talked about before, an international consulting firm. The secretary of that firm, by the name of John F. Kerry, look how all this stuff is entangled, man. So the secretary of the firm that Joe Biden's son, I hope y'all following this, the secretary of the firm that Joe Biden's son was working for, which is called Rosemont Seneca Partners, based in the U.S., international consulting firm. The secretary of the company is John F. Kerry's stepson. John F. Kerry ran for president in 2004. He was also President Obama's Secretary of State, if I'm not mistaken, in his second term, Obama's second term. You saw all this stuff is entangled. Everybody's entangled with each other. Everybody getting a piece of the pie. Everybody going down the line. So because of the secretary stating that this was a bad look, bad deal, he ended Joe Biden's son job with the company. Burisma, the gas company, connected to the former vice president through his son, Hunter Biden, who served on the company's board. So Joe Biden's son was on the company's board. He made $50,000 a month through the deal. Now, what you think, that was free? You know something had to come of that. If you're getting paid $50 grand a month, 10 months, that's $500,000. 2 more months, what's that? $600,000 a year? And that's just one deal he had, and not including what he was making probably from the firm, not including what he's getting off the top with the fund that he's built with Chinese, but $50,000 a month. So that is just the start of where I'm about to go with this Trump impeachment. Now, what happened was Trump got on the line with the president of Ukraine, right? We just talked about Ukraine Gas Company. And he's been hearing these things since he's been in office, and probably before he got in office. So he was in his mind, he's like, well, I want to know more about this, you know. And what people don't understand is Ukraine and the U.S. have an agreement with each other, an actual binding agreement, almost like a constitution, stating that both countries will help each other out with corruption. So that's all Trump was doing as president of the United States, is looking into what the corruption is. Now, what the media want to try to project to you is, oh, well, he's trying to find dirt on his opponent. First off, Joe Biden has not won the Democratic primary yet, so he's not his opponent. If that's the case, I think now it's 10, but originally it was like 20 people in the primary. All 20 people are Trump opponents. So that's just debunked off the bat. So what came of the conversation with Trump and the Ukraine president, Trump called him to congratulate on winning an election, because he won an election based off telling the people of Ukraine that he was going to do away with corruption in the country of Ukraine. So how is the president of Ukraine going to get on the phone with Trump and still continue down the line of corruption when he just won an election off getting rid of corruption? Does this make sense to you guys? Don't make sense to me either. Moving a little further, there has been a whistleblower. Now, whistleblower means there's somebody listening to your phone calls. And typically, as President of the United States, your calls are being taped, recorded. There's somebody that's actually documenting every word that's said on the call, as well as CIA, all type of intelligence agencies are listening in. Even the Secretary of State, Pompeo, is listening in, right? So the whistleblower didn't even listen to the call, right? But stated they heard secondhand information of misconduct by the president, stating that Donald Trump was telling the president of Ukraine that, okay, I need for you to do me a favor. I need for you to look into this Joe Biden situation, Joe Biden's son situation, Hunter Biden, or you will not get any funding from the U.S. Now, everybody knows the U.S. is like Daddy Warbucks. I mean, we give money to everybody. Everybody gets a check. Everybody in the world gets a check from the U.S. And what people don't understand is the reason why the U.S. gives so much money to all these countries in the world is for diplomatic reasons. In some cases, to reel countries in to make them do what we want them to do, but also in some cases to have a relationship with them so we can go after people in their country if we have to, and so on. Anyway, long story short, the whistleblower that didn't even overhear the call, it was secondhand information that was provided to them about the alleged misconduct of the conversation Trump was having with the president of Ukraine, stated there was quid pro quo. Quid pro quo basically means you do something for me, in return, I give something to you. And it has to be stated in that format. Almost like, if I give you $500, you have to go to the store for me, right? I don't mean to put it in that simple terms, but that's just how it is. But the way that we're trying to make it seemed was that Trump was saying, you will not get any money from the U.S. unless you investigate Joe Biden's son, Hunter. And that's not what the case. What was said in the transcript or in the call was, hey, I've been hearing some things about this Hunter Biden situation. I just want to make sure that there's nothing, being loose running around in the U.S. concerning this. Can you get back with me on that? The U.S. is devoted to you and your country, blase, blase. That's all that happens on the call. Now, the Democrats thought they were going to create this storyline of Trump having misconduct by having quid pro quo with the president of Ukraine. Now, what they wasn't expecting was Trump to release the transcript of the call. They thought he was going to hide it, keep it tight, not say anything, so they can say, oh, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. You got something to hide. You're not showing us the call. You're not showing us the call. In actuality, he proved them wrong. He showed them the transcript. The Democrats have been investigating this man since he got in office. It started with the Russia collusion, then it went to the Mueller report. All that stuff was a dud. They got no information out of it. The only people that was charged in the Trump campaign were, there were a few people that were charged from the Trump campaign. However, they were charged with lying to FBI authorities. Like, did you speak with such and such? No, I didn't. Okay, you're going to jail. Other people, basically like Paul Manafort, which was Trump's campaign manager. He had underhanded Russia money dealings way before Trump even decided to run for office. So they got him for that, tax invasion on that. So as you can see, there was nothing proven, and even Robert Mueller said himself when he was speaking on the Hill in Washington, D.C., there was nothing to say about Russia collusion with the Trump campaign. So the Democrats are rolling out different phases of trying to get this man impeached. Now, is it just me, but don't we elect government officials to go to Washington, D.C. to represent the people? Why are we experiencing elected officials wasting taxpayer money? Because mind you, this Russian collusion investigation with Robert Mueller cost $14 million of taxpayers' money. That could have been used on numerous things. That could have been going towards student loan debt. You feel me? That could have been going to numerous things, like the homeless situation that's going on in our country. The Democrats not even talking about gun control, and they were like the biggest people about gun control. Nothing is being said about any initiatives or policies they want to implement, bills they want to vote on and roll out. Everything is impeach, 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 impeach. This is insane. This is a waste of time and insane. And I feel like somebody needs to say something. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments about this. This is crazy. What people don't want. Look, first of all, I'm fair. I'm impartial about Trump and Democrats. I find inspiration, but also find certain policies or certain initiatives I like from both parties. I watch Fox, I watch CNN, I watch everything. I just try to get all the information in at once and then make my decision off that. But what I currently see right now is a lot of mess from the Democrats because they're not doing their job. They're going into Washington trying to impeach this man because they don't like him. They can't get him on nothing but the fact they don't like him. And for people to be representing us and trying to, ain't even trying anything, when they're supposed to be representing us and doing the will of the people, they're not. They're not. And as you can see, they're not. They're creating these storms and these lies and these innuendos, hoping that it will grab onto you, the American people, and everybody will be on some type of polling they got saying, yes, impeachment does sound good. No, impeachment doesn't sound good. It's not good for the country at all. It basically looks like we have a civil war, like we're in the Middle East somewhere, and we're not. We are the leader of the free world, not just the president, but this country alone. We are the leader of the free world. We are supposed to be a representation of what every country, every communist, socialist, whatever country in the world it is supposed to look at as how democracy is supposed to look, how a democratic process is supposed to look. But yet we have a coup going on trying to overthrow the dang government and wasting your taxpayers' money while they're doing it. So that's what I started from. The Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden situation came down to the impeachment. That's how it began, to be honest. Totally how it began. Now, this whistleblower that said they overheard misconduct from Trump. They didn't listen to the call, but they overheard, is alleged to be a CIA representative. Now, this sounds like a bunch of crap. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is a corrupt system and why this is seems like this is a leaker, but also a coup. And the reason is because the protocol of a whistleblower, meaning somebody overhears something or witness something, the protocol is to go to the inspector general. That's where you file your complaint at. The whistleblower bypassed the inspector general and went to Adam Schiff, which is head of the House Intelligence Committee. Now, everybody knows the Democrats run the House. So the Intelligence Committee, the head of that is Adam Schiff, which is a Democrat. So the whistleblower went to him first before they went to the inspector general. Because they had to go to Adam Schiff first so they could build up the disclosure, build up the statement, and make sure it covered all the bases of the things that they wanted to say, even though it wasn't said, to bring trouble to the Trump administration. Now, I feel like Woody from Toy Story, should go on Maury Povich and have a DNA test, because Adam Schiff looked like his son. I'm gonna be honest with you, dead ass. And he's wasting our time, he's wasting our taxpayers' money. I mean, he got up there last week and read the transcript of Trump's call with the Ukraine president and lied. Nothing that Adam Schiff stated in his opening statement was verbatim of what was in the transcript. He actually said that Trump was some type of mafia boss. He's a mafia threatening people. Stuff is crazy. Also, to add to that, this is why you know this is a corrupt, like I said, it's a coup. Two of the biggest leaders in the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, are not even on the same page about this impeachment process. Nancy Pelosi wants this impeachment process to be done by the end of the year because, as you know, next year we have a general election. They don't want this to continue on into the general election next year. Impeachment, because people will tune out and not be listening to what the Democratic Party is trying to offer as far as their vision for the country in the general election coming up, right? Same thing happened with Bill Clinton. Back in the 90s, the Republicans went after him with impeachment and they ended up being wiped out of Washington, meaning voted out, because all they wanted to talk about was impeachment. So it's not a good look. And Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, two of the biggest leaders in the Democratic Party, Nancy wants to keep the impeachment inquiry on the Ukraine call Donald Trump had only. But Chuck Schumer wants to go on a fishing expedition and broaden the inquiry, look for other stuff. Look for stuff that may have happened with his daughter. Look for other stuff that may have happened with his son. Maybe look up stuff that's happened with his attorney general. Like, just go down. And I've heard information that Adam Schiff is even harassing people that work with Secretary of State Pompeo, his people that work under him. They're harassing them for information. Stuff is ridiculous, man. This stuff is wasting time. It's wasting our money. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I just want to bring y'all a little higher level overview about what's going on with this impeachment process. And y'all know damn well they ain't about to impeach Trump because they don't have anything. They got one statement that's not even worthy of impeaching a president for. Now, in some cases, could it have been spoken differently? Probably, because some stuff can be presumed as something instead of actually being something, right? So you guys tell me what you think. I just want to tell you what's been going on, give you a higher level overview. Please subscribe, click on to the link for notifications for every time I upload a new video. And I'm gonna keep my ears and my eyes open on this situation because we're gonna hear more and more stuff as the days go by. So I will be doing more and more video content pertaining to this impeachment inquiry of Donald Trump, which I don't think is going to go through. It's a bunch of crap. I think it's going to be something, I believe it's going to be something that's going to hurt the Democratic Party next year in the general election. I think a lot of governors and senators and congressmen or whatever are going to be voted out because they all signed up for this bullshit. Oh, excuse me. It's the truth. It's the damn truth. It's crap. But you guys tell me what you think. Please comment, like, subscribe. set the notification for new videos. And this has been Politics and Tricks. I'm your host, Dax. You guys have a great day. Peace.